Hi, everyone. I'm Matthew Perry. Glad to be here today. It's obviously a great venue, as always. I'm Esri's Financial Services Global Director. I manage our business in large Fortune banks and insurance companies. And today, this is a really important topic for us because this is an area where we see a lot of potential to help our customers, to help them mitigate and reduce their risk. So thank you for joining us for this session.
And I'm Alex Martonik. I'm Esri's Commercial Industry Specialist for Financial Services and Insurance. My primary responsibility is to help shape and implement Esri's strategies for corporate security and risk management. And today I'm here to talk to you about some of these known and unknown threats. And why this is important is that every day, this world becomes increasingly chaotic. And this poses a significant challenge to your businesses by creating a disruptive environment. A catastrophic event can happen at any moment, whether it's a natural disaster or human conflict. And this can instantly change the operating picture of any business. These types of events, they diminish the overall health of an organization. They not only threaten the lives of your employees and your customers, but in general, they provide a challenge to the continuity of strategic operations. And you may be wondering, why is it that there is this increase or this proliferation of threats within our business right now? And part of it has to do with growth. We've been talking today about growth, but as businesses continue to increase and expand in new and existing markets, they inevitably become more exposed to a broader array of risks, from hurricanes and tornadoes to civil unrest and active shooter situations. Okay. Businesses today need to assume they will constantly operate under less than ideal or even adverse conditions. And this poses a significant challenge to security personnel and operations managers. In order to overcome these threats and protect what matters most, businesses need to become more resilient.
Resilience, that's a really important topic for our session today. So just quick, how many people have been to User Conference, Business Summit before out there? Hands up. Okay, most of you. So you know that being resilient is a core part of our mission this week at User Conference. There's so much to do during the day, at evening. You really have to remain resilient. So all kidding aside, I was just playing there a little bit. Resiliency is a really important topic, right? So as Alex talked about, businesses are growing at a breakneck pace. This is not only large corporate Fortune 500 companies, but these are small and medium businesses that need to globalize as well. Sometimes they're entering markets and places that they're very unfamiliar with. So traditionally in emergency management, the planning part is core and key, and that is still the case. But being resilient means to be able to adapt, right? So you cannot plan for every unforeseen event. As we've seen this year, we had 3 hurricanes back-to-back. Whoever thought that could happen? Fires in California, civil unrest, protests, many things that businesses need to respond and react to. I know that we have some folks here today in the emergency management space and corporate security space that deal with that every day. Some of our speakers this afternoon will be taking you through some of the processes that they employ around that. But ultimately, they need to be agile, right? They need to be able to communicate to their executives and stakeholders as an emergency is unfolding. A core part of that is really having authoritative data, right? So that's the foundation of it all from a corporate security perspective, in my opinion. You need to understand where your assets are, where are your facilities, where are your people. And then once you have that in place, you can tie that bind together through geography, right? These events are happening in space and time, clearly. And GIS is an important tool to help bring that all together. So having a great location strategy and a location platform to employ from.
And not to be completely a downer about this, because there is a solution, and part of it is as easy as communication. During a crisis, knowledge, expertise, and technology are utterly worthless unless they're able to shape decision-making. And that's the key part of this, is that decision-making. And why location intelligence and this spatial thinking is so important is it's not just tools. What it does is create a uniformed spatial data hierarchy. This way, analysts are enabled to utilize their specialties. Regardless of their line of business or whatever their department is, they can work together. They can have a collaborative effect with one another, leveraging their specialties with the same data, regardless of the view that they need to do this. The second component that what makes data so valuable in this sense is that location is a natural lens to interpret complex, multi-dimensional problems. So if we talk about our stakeholders, they don't oftentimes have the same knowledge and expertise as the analysts. Nobody can be an expert at everything, but we all understand location and location information on an intuitive level. So using location intelligence as this platform, these specialists can dissect these complex situations and clearly communicate with the stakeholders in times when it matters most.
So you saw the wheel earlier in the day. I want to just bring that back for our risk management discussion as well here before we go to my friend here, Russell, behind me. So just to talk through some of the stages here in terms of planning around our vulnerabilities. As I talked about before, this is a core component, right? Understanding your risk, maybe even doing advanced risk metrics on your facilities based upon the threats in those areas. Understanding and being prepared, right? How to properly allocate my security forces around the world, maybe. How to also, you'll also see some underwriting in our session as well, where we have Axel Caitlin talking about how they plan and prepare around risk. In addition to response. So you'll see quite a bit of discussion around crisis management and disaster response. Two of our speakers here in the moment, JP Morgan and the National Insurance Crime Bureau, have been doing a fantastic job in this area. Finally, around reporting, right? It's the utmost important to communicate, give operational briefings at an executive level. I find corporate security professionals, they're always co-located down the office from the CEO, right? They're right there, and they're always getting contacted and communicated to around what's happening in today's world. So, okay, I promised this before. I have this fellow behind me. His name is Russell Sands. You have considerably less hair, by the way.
I do.
Oh, okay. Was this a prior photo, or did you grow this in over the year or cut this off?
It comes and goes.
Okay, got it. So Russell is an excellent solution engineer, works on my team. He's prepared a demonstration for us here today. He's going to take us through a little bit of a common operational dashboard, sort of a single pane of glass. So thanks a lot. I'm going to pass the floor over to Russell.
Thank you. In order to be truly resilient, organizations need to engage in activities that go beyond planning. Resilient organizations are able to understand live streams of data, such as information coming from the global incident map, and how that information is impacting their assets, employees, and customers. With a dashboard like the one that I'm looking at now, I'm able to identify all of the incidents that have occurred in the previous 48 hours, as well as the facilities that may be impacted by them. I'm also able to explore this in more detail by selecting a particular kind of incident, such as a hazmat situation. And if I identify one that I am particularly concerned about, I can select that situation, and it filters down to only show me the facilities that are nearby. I can zoom into this incident and identify that we have one store that's particularly close. When I select that facility, I'm able to open an email that's pre-populated with a link for the facility administrator that they can follow that opens an incident report. As those incident reports are coming back to me, I'm able to see the results directly in the same application. So I can see information that's come back from the field, and this enables me to have a complete feedback loop with our field staff. And this is a workflow that we see as being broadly applicable across many industries, but we also recognize that in particular industries, there are needs and challenges that need to be addressed. One of those situations is for insurance companies, where in addition to understanding how live events are impacting our offices and employees, we really need to understand the impact to our customers. This dashboard uses some of the same automated ingesting and processing capabilities that we saw previously, except in this case, instead of looking at our own assets, we're looking at our customers. We can quickly identify which states have the most severe impacts. We can also export all of this information at the individual policy level, which would enable us to understand exactly where and who has been impacted so that we can better service our customers and more efficiently identify where to stage resources as we respond to these events. Thank you.